For the first time, women got a chance to prove that they, too, could play professional baseball.
We're not too young, we're not too old. In fact, we're in our prime. Oh, we hit the ball with might and main, and fielding we are fast. We are the Rockford Ball Club. We always dress in class. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are the Rockford baseball team.
These feminine phenoms play in the All-American Girls Baseball League, which keeps the turnstiles clicking in the Loop's 8 Midwest cities: South Bend, Fort Wayne, Peoria, Rockford, Kenosha, Grand Rapids, and Kalamazoo. Look close, folks. This is not softball, but real Major League-type baseball, and managed by former Major League stars, such as Jimmy Fox.
Jimmy Fox, too old to be drafted and long past his prime, found another job in baseball as a coach in the brand new All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. The league was the creation of Philip Wrigley, the chewing gum king who owned the Cubs and who hoped to keep baseball alive in the small Midwestern cities that were losing their minor league teams to the war. Women had been discouraged from playing professional hardball for decades, but now with thousands doing men's work in defense industries and doing it well, many saw no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to play professionally. There were already some 40,000 women playing semi-pro softball in small towns all across the country. It was said that softball star Olympia Savona runs bases like a man, slides like a man, and catches like a man. If she could spit, she could go with Brooklyn. Wrigley wanted to convert the best of the softballers to hardball and do it fast. Hundreds journeyed to Chicago for Wrigley's tryouts in May of 1943, and 4 teams were quickly formed: the Racine Bells, Kenosha Comets, South Bend Blue Sox, and Rockford Peaches.
We were all feeling very patriotic, and I really wanted to go into the WACs. And my mother and, well, it was really my mother didn't want me to go. So they contacted me about this girls' league out in the Middle West. And at the end of the season, my folks knew I'd be home, so they sort of encouraged that. And my father said, go try it. If you don't like it, come back.
I started as an outfielder, but I couldn't hit for beans, so I said, hey, if I'm going to stay out here, I better learn how to pitch, so I became a pitcher. I had a pretty good fastball and a good curve. I was a little wild, but you didn't dig in against me, that's for sure.
The women who made the cut had to be good, but they also had to be irreproachably feminine. No pants-wearing, tough-talking female softballer will play on any of our 4 teams, Wrigley declared. Players were required to wear skirts, high heels, and makeup off the field, and a stiff fine was levied if they were caught disobeying. Chaperones accompanied the all-white teams from town to town.
They even sent us to Patricia Stevens Charm School to show us how to sit and how to walk and how to act, and some people really needed it. They told you how to put a coat on without knocking the person in the next booth down, how to sit down without exposing yourself, and how to get up and how to walk correctly.
The All-American Girls League produced its share of stars. Jean Fout won 3 pitching titles and pitched 2 perfect games. Joanne Weaver hit .429 one year and won the batting title 3 summers in a row. Sophie Couriz, nicknamed Tina Cobb, averaged 100 stolen bases a season and one year stole 201 in 203 tries. And Annabelle Lee, whose nephew Bill would one day pitch for the Boston Red Sox, once threw a perfect game for the Minneapolis Millerettes. The new league soon doubled in size. Sports writers called them the queens of SWAT and the belles of the ball game. They played a tough 110-game season, drew big crowds throughout the Middle West, more than 1 million in their biggest year, and won the affection and loyalty of fans wherever they went.
And I think the fact that people looked and couldn't possibly think that girls could throw a ball, hit a ball, slide, and run the way they did, I think that's what attracted the crowd and caused some people to remain so faithful that when we had our first reunion in Chicago in '82, if you can imagine it, a number of fans came to Chicago to join us at that reunion. So we must have done something right.
The league lasted nearly a decade, and many thought that one day women might finally play alongside men. But in 1952, the major leagues formally banned women from playing at any level of professional baseball.
When we first saw the uniforms, we almost packed up, went back to California, because it was like a tunic. The thing about the uniforms were, they were very colorful, they were very good looking, and I realize now how much they added to the game. Right there, you got a lot of people that like to see the legs and laugh, but they didn't expect to see you play good baseball. We got them out there, maybe because of our uniforms, maybe because of the publicity. We kept them there because we played damn good baseball.
The ability to master such fine points as the hook slide pays off not only in the ultimate score, but in the pay envelope.
Getting the dirt in the skirt, that's rough.
Well, I mean, you left a lot of skin on the ground. I mean, that's what a strawberry is. You just rip up your hip part.
I guess my forte was stealing bases. That was mainly it. My best year was in 1946. That year in particular, I stole 201 bases.
This, friends, is Havana, Cuba, and in the background yonder is famous Morro Castle. In the foreground are some Bonitas, Senoritas Americanas, for they're kids from the USA who have figuratively taken Havana over in a feminine peacetime invasion. A whole army of girls in uniform. Watch. That's right, an army of baseball players. Not softball, but hardball. Stars of the All-American Girls Baseball League here for training.
It was a good place to train, and we had gone there to replace, I don't know if we were actually replaced, but we outdrew the Yankees. That the girls' ball teams outdrew the Yankees. The crowds were just fantastic.
Customarily, baseball skill is first acquired in childhood. And up to now, most little girls have concentrated on their knitting rather than their hitting. These high steppers were the exceptions.
It was wild, but we had to have tourist cops with us in Cuba because men were kind of, you know, they love blonde-haired people.
Okay, sister, haul your bludgeon to the platter and let's see how you make out against a twirler who's starting to put a bit of mid-season stuff on the old spheroid.
Talk about a sweet swing. From 1943 to 1954, girls were playing Major League Ball. You heard me right, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League.
Ball, go that way!
And now director Penny Marshall takes you out to their ball game in her new Columbia Pictures comedy, A League of Their Own.
I didn't know this existed. So that was the most impressive thing, is that, really? They did this? And I thought that it was part of history and should be told.
Women were playing professional hardball in America. Thousands of people were going to see it, and it's like it vanished without a trace.
Until now, that is. A league of their own boasts an all-star lineup, including Tom Hanks as a washed-up major leaguer barely managing the Rockford Peaches.
Bullshit, you can all kiss my ass.
Gina Davis as the female phenom who trades her oven mitt for a catcher's mitt. Lori Petty as a hot-headed hurler with a mean fastball.
A Rockford Peach.
Wrigley sent his scouts all over the U.S. and Canada to find the best female ball players there were.
The All-American League, we come from cities near and far. We got Canadian, Irish boys and Swedes. We're all American.
My sister and I are both picked for the team. We're from a small town in Oregon, and we both work in a dairy.
So the scout comes and asks her, would you like to play baseball, professional? And I'm like, I'll go.
And at our age, to be away from home and seeing the country and meeting all kinds of people, it was just fantastic.
The movie takes place in the 40s during World War II, and it's a time when women weren't supposed to really be athletes and weren't supposed to be interested in sports and baseball and proving yourself in a physical sort of way.
My mother used to hide my dungarees under the mattress because it was not nice to wear dungarees and play with the boys.
I think for all of the girls, and especially my character, we feel like misfits a little bit.
In 1988, the members of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
If it inspires any little girl to not be ashamed of being athletically talented, then that'll make me feel good.
old ball game, at least the way they played it in the early 1940s, was different. Different because back then a woman's place was at home. It was also at first, at second, and at third. These women are members of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. They played throughout the country from 1943 to 1954. This is a story about the old ball game, their ball game, and the way they played it during a recent weekend reunion of the league in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was there that a group of veteran ball players joined more than 100 of their teammates from across the United States and Canada. They gathered to swap stories, trade secrets, renew friendships, picnic, party, and of course, play ball. Well, the girls are from all over the United States and Canada, and it's a reunion to renew friendships. Helen was very quiet. Of course, naturally a great ball player. She led the league in hitting.
I was from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. We'd go to a store and pretend was interested in the VCR and put our tape in. You're cheaters.
How many can read on that thing?
It's a standard VHS.
We'll sing on Canada. Hey, watch those pants when you bend over.
You know, if you could hit with your mouth, we'd do okay, wouldn't we? That's one of Ziggy's 400-foot drives, 200 up, 200 down. Come on, Morty. Come on.
Break them up.
In the mound. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a rolling.
Yeah, Wimpy Baumgartner at the plate now. She's so used to that golf ball. See that piece of sandpaper that fell out of her pocket? Arnie can't even throw one. Look at that gal out there. She throws two.
Target.
Oh, nice play, nice play.
Still see the athlete in these women?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They'll never lose that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Go, Willie, go. Come on, Willie.
For a bunch of old ladies, they look pretty spry.
Be in the ball game. I've got a knee that doesn't work very well. I've got a finger that points in 4 directions, at least one. Physically, yes, I'm paying.
And Gina Davis made her famous in A League of Their Own. But the inspiration for the movie was Natick's Dottie Green. A little-known legend from baseball is being mourned tonight. Dottie Green is one of the women who were in a league of their own. Dottie was laid to rest tonight, but her full, rich life inspired more than just a hit movie. Christina Kleinman tells us it inspired a little girl.
It's easy to see why Gina Davis was picked to play the character of Dottie Green. The resemblance is remarkable. Green played for the Rockford Peaches in the first women's professional baseball league. They were organized during World War II to entertain baseball fans while the men were at war. Today, the 71-year-old former catcher was laid to rest.
She went with the baseball because the money was great. You know, $65 a week was great.
Because she'd send scrapbook material home constantly, and she loved it. She was really the highlight of her life, I think.
Green was known as a leader in the league. She played just 4 years until a knee injury sidelined her. But her legacy lives on in those she inspired, like 8-year-old Sarah Garagosian. She saw A League of Their Own 5 times. She's wearing an exact replica of Dottie Green's uniform. She even has a ball autographed by all the Peaches.
She changed the world and made it special, and I really like playing baseball, and I want to be like her.
Green acted as a consultant for the movie about her life. Friends say she realized the movie made her a role model.
Feminist in terms of the self-determined woman, and very active and assertive, that part of it, yeah.
She's made a lot of good friends, and I think that's what meant the most. And there's so many that we've heard from all over the country, that I think that the friendships she made was the most meaningful part of the baseball to her.
Dottie Green was 71 years old. She was truly in a league of her own. In Natick, I'm Christina Kleinman, Channel 56, the news at 10.
Dottie Green was a Natick native. She died in the same house she was born in.
And her legacy will live on something other than film. She's enshrined in baseball's Hall of Fame.